Yo, did she really say that?
No, I think she did.
Yo, what's good, everybody? And thank you for tuning in to another Tyler Perry Sistas review. This is season 4, episode 11, entitled Fine Wine. There was nothing fine about this episode. Let me just go out and say this is going to be a little different because this is not going to be like a normal review. This is pretty much a rant. I'm giving you guys my uncompromised, unedited feelings about this episode. Hey, if it's your first time here, welcome. If you are a returning family member, y'all already know what it is and what it will always be. And I'm just going to make sure you like, share, subscribe if you like. You ain't got to. If you want to, you can do that. But we're going to get into this thing. Y'all, what the hell did we just watch? What did we just watch? Y'all remember that commercial? I could have had a V8. Let me tell y'all, normally I try not to rant and I try not to, really give my disappointment on my channel, but it is what it is. I can't, it was this bad. This episode was so horrible to me. I did not like it. I am incredibly disappointed for this to be a mid-season finale, but I have no expectation of Tyler. So I can't be, expectation shattered. I go into every episode expecting it to be bad. I'm just going to be 100% with y'all. I go into every episode expecting it to be horrible. If I am surprised about something, then that's a plus. But for the most part, I have no expectation of this show. The thing I'm disappointed in is that for those who don't know, which everybody probably know at this point, Sistas isn't coming back, I believe, until toward the end of June. So you have people waiting this long time to come back to a show that's going to be super slow and super dragged out. This is just what the show is made up of. I wouldn't necessarily have a problem with the way that Tyler writes this show as far as it being slow. If shit actually happened, I'm sorry, excuse my language, this review. If things actually happened that was exciting within the episode, it would be better to digest it. But because we are seeing the same things happen every season over and over again with all of the characters, no one is exempt. It is becoming a true struggle. Okay. So I'm just going to talk. I'm just going to talk. I have notes, but I'm not even looking at them because it was nothing happened. So basically, we see, I think the show opens up with Calvin, Bayo, and Sabrina, and they're out on a date, Bayo and Sabrina. Calvin pops up. I'm not here for Calvin. I have not been here for Calvin and Sabrina since season 1. I do not like the way that he talks to her. They are not in a relationship. Sabrina can do whatever the hell that she wants, just like he has. I've always had an issue with Calvin because Calvin will go and sleep with somebody and then pop up at Sabrina's house expecting her to be home by herself. But that one time he popped up and he saw Jacoby. I just do not like Calvin. I do not like his character. I think he gets off as being portrayed as this nice guy and, he's misunderstood. The hell with that. I don't like Calvin, and I was so glad that we don't know Bayo like that either, so I be giving him the side eye too. But I could appreciate the fact that he brought up to Sabrina how Calvin talks to her. And she was like, it don't happen all the time. He was like, well, the past 2 times I've seen how this person talks to you. And I was in complete agreement with that. And it has always been my argument when it comes to Calvin. I believe he talks to Sabrina sideways. And it's very condescending. It's very disrespectful. He basically told her, like, you can't make decisions on your own. You need your friends to make decisions for you. And she doesn't need to do that. But I do not like their dynamic. I do not believe that Novi and Anthony have great chemistry to even pull off Calvin and Sabrina. It's a hit for me. It's a miss for me. I've just never liked them together. So Calvin, she feels bad because Calvin came there. He said he had a feeling, and he popped up and saw what he saw. And so when Calvin did that, he got money situation. A lot of us know what that's from. It was from a meme, I believe, that Quinta did years ago when she was at the movie theater. It was funny. I didn't find it flattering coming off of Calvin. I'm still not understanding what message is Tyler trying to promote with Calvin. What is it that you're trying to do? Because I believe that you want to write as if he could possibly be a gay man. And then it's like, oh, no, he's not. I don't really care anymore. Y'all, I be struggling with this show. My God. Anyway, I do, man. I be struggling with this show. But anyway, so Calvin comes home. So, of course, he's mad. He tells Maurice what happened. And he tells Maurice also that Q is out sitting on the steps. And Calvin gives the absolute worst advice. He told Maurice that he should allow Q, thieving ass, to stay with them because it's about to rain. He has no place to go. He's homeless. I said, a homeless shelter? You guys are in Atlanta. Y'all ain't got homeless shelters there. This fool has to stay in your house. I said, see, this is the bull crap. So not only did initially Q started off because he robbed Calvin, stole his checks, tried to cash them. So he goes from there and then graduates to robbing Maurice at gunpoint and then going to the bank and holding him and Sabrina at gunpoint. And I'm thinking to myself, why are we acting as if what Q did is cool? Why are we acting as if he's just this regular normal dude? This is a criminal who doesn't mind using a gun. And so later on we find out, which I believe is a lie. So Maurice allows Q to come in and stay there for the night. And, Q tells him that it wasn't his fault. They put him up to it. I don't believe him. Q was a liar. You did what you did. You had no problem robbing Calvin. And you damn sure ain't had no problem sticking that gun in Maurice's face. I'm so done with this storyline. It's dumb as hell and it's stupid as hell. And then now, to me, Q is coming off as like, it's very predatorial type of situation, his vibe he's giving off. Maurice like, hey, you can go take a shower, blah, 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 go in the bathroom. He proceeds to undress in their living room. And then he's like, you like it? I know you like it. I know you like, what the hell? The fact that you even got this man in your house, I don't understand it. Like, honestly, I love all the actors and the actresses on this show. God knows I do. I follow them and I support them outside of Sistas. But when it comes to Tyler Perry writing this damn show, it gets worse and worse and worse. And I always tell people this is my first show of Tyler's, like where I'm literally watching it from the beginning to the duration. And everybody who has had to go through this several times repeatedly with this man, when you start a show and you like it, the first 2 or 3 seasons, the show is bomb, and then he drops the ball. I don't even see how y'all do it. Like, that would really piss me off. I don't understand. This is a whole new world. I can't imagine. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's absolutely horrible. And I really try so hard because not to down someone else's work, because I commend anybody who is not fearful and who has something to say and has an idea and put it out there. I commend anybody, but at some point you have to realize that you do have a responsibility of telling a great story. You do have a responsibility for having a responsibility in your writing, and I just don't see that. And because I am a writer, I really take it hard, because I'm like, I would never want to give people this kind of mess ever. It is horrible, because Tyler is better than this. He is so much better than this. But anyway, so Q goes in the bathroom. He's steady, saying little whatnots to Maurice and everything. And the fact that Maurice got hands, Maurice can fight. And I'm like, you got this man in your house and you just allowing him to heckle you in this way. It makes no sense to me. It was just stupid. And so, what happened next, Lord? Karen and what's the girl? Andy. And nothing really much happened there. It was just, Karen came by unannounced. And, she wanted to talk to Andy. She was talking to Andy about Zach. And in my mind, I'm like, you are so overly concerned about Zach that it makes no sense. He's not your man. He's not your responsibility. Whatever Zach does or does not do, that's on him. We have a baby coming. And first of all, Helfer, we don't even know how far along you are. Okay, that's number one. Number two, I'm going to need you to get back from Z and get back on A. We're just starting the alphabet with this whole pregnancy situation. And you already what kind of father is he going to be? Obviously one who really don't give a damn. This man ain't asked you how you feel. He ain't asked you if you have morning sickness. It's not funny, but it's like this man has shown no interest concern or care about how Karen is doing with this damn pregnancy, yet she's overly concerned about his well-being. It's just ridiculous. The way that Tyler is writing this character is so, I don't even know what adjective to use. I don't know what word to use. Disappointing. It's becoming humorous at this point. I am becoming humored when I watch Karen. It's so bad. Y'all know I started off, and I'm still a Karen fan, like being a Karen fan, but I do not enjoy this character right now. I am not enjoying this character right now. I do not look forward to her scenes. I do not look forward to seeing her on my screen, because the way that Tyler just has completely just demolished and destroyed this character. I'm in utter shock, like, with the things that's happening. Even tonight, I'm gonna say that to last. I got a whole lot to say about that with her and Danny. But Gary comes over. So Andy was like, well, calm down. Andy's trying to calm her down. And she's like, hey, let me get with some of my contacts. Let's find out what's going on. We know what's going on, Andy. He don't change. He won't change. And I'm like, what does his change have to do with you? What, Karen? What? Y'all, it gives me a headache. But anyway, so Gary shows up. And she's like, that Gary? And so she answers Andy's phone, which I found was completely odd. But okay, maybe they doing that for her hormones. I don't know. I'm not excusing Karen's bullshit. I'm sorry. So I'm not going to put it on hormones. So what happened? So Gary comes and she was like, well, just forget it. He's on his way. Don't worry about it. So she leaves. Gary speaks. I don't even know why Gary speak to any of them, because none of them speak back. She didn't speak back. And so, Andy was like, Karen. And Karen just steady pushing the buttons, trying to get away. Now, let me say this. Now, I know over these past few episodes, a lot of Karen fans, and I do agree when it comes to the sisters really not being there for Karen during this time, or how they have chosen to respond during this time. Now, when they do put themselves in a position to want to help Karen or want to be there for her, she's very dismissive. So my thing is, if we gonna deal with them, then we got to deal with her too. Because the fact is, you're going out, you're reaching out to them for help, for some type of solace. But when they try to do it, you reject it. So what do you want, sis? She got to have some responsibility when it comes to that too. I don't remember what happened with with Zach and Jake. I know they were standing outside. That was a dumb. I ain't get that scene either. They was basically standing outside because they wouldn't give Zach his phone. I'm like, well, when you get out and they don't give you your stuff, that's a whole nother. I don't know. But they standing outside the police department having this unnecessary conversation. If you ask me, Jake, just go get his phone so he can go. I'm not understanding. So when I saw Zach standing outside continuing to have this unnecessary conversation with Jake, I'm like, okay, so we're not gonna see him and Fatima until, the second half of the season. Okay, duly noted. So he was basically asking, Zach, are you gonna tell her about what happened? And Zach was like, I get arrested like once a week, like I'm always up here. They enjoy messing with me or what have you. So he tells Jake that he thinks he's a good guy, but he don't know about dealing with Gary. He is something about Gary, the vibes Gary gives off that makes him like, kind of pause when it comes to dealing with him professionally or personally. And so, Jake is, he's rooting for Gary, and he's a good guy. He tries not to get involved in his personal life, so on and so forth. That's really all it was. Nothing much happened with that scene. This was such for this to be a mid-season finale, nothing happened. And we sometimes people think, oh, the last couple minutes is gonna be on and popping. And I'm like, I'm trying to understand, because it was 9:53 when the show came back on with Danny and Karen. So I'm like, we got 7 more minutes before this show go off. What's about to happen? The scenes in this episode were long as hell. The scene with Sabrina and Bio, the scene with Andy and Gary, which I don't understand why, because we're having the same conversations that we've been having since season 1. What's the point? You know what I'm saying? What's the point? Andy told Gary that she was allowing Robin to stay with her for a week, and she did it to see how he was going to respond. This is the type of bullshit that really pissed me off, because I'm like, these are grown ass women, and you got to sit up here and lie, make up something to see how this man is going to respond. You already know what Gary is doing. Gary's not stupid. He's doing whatever he needs to do to make Andy believe that he's cool, calm, and collected. But on the other side, Gary knows Andy. He ain't lie about that. He does know Andy very well. When Gary said, I've never lied to you, like I've always been honest, I said, you lying now. You are lying now. I could be a great father. You don't take care of the kids you have now. You got an autistic son. Where he at? When the last time you saw him? All we know is that you went and got him from Jasmine mama house and supposedly took him back to your mama house, and your mama supposed to be dead. I just can't deal with it. I just can't deal with all these crazy just potholes that are all up and in through Sistas. It was just ridiculous. So you could tell Andy was getting moved by the things that Gary was stating to her. And I'm like, so this is moving you, sis? You really, like, for real? It's like in moments I believe that Andy is onto it. And then she said something that makes me question, like, so you gonna let him back in? So you gonna let him back in? Okay, cool. All right. She ordered dinner, his favorite. I said, see, baby, you ain't gonna let no other man say that when you order another man's favorites. Maybe some women, but not Andy. Not when it comes to Gary. So I'm trying to finish everything before I get to so the last scene is Fatima, Jesus of Nazareth. So sis, this don't even make no sense. You automatically think that Hayden has something to do with Zach being arrested. Even if he did, you have no proof. You're just going by the things that he did to you. You've already threatened him several times after you had your goons beat him up. You know what I'm saying? The fact that we didn't see one scratch on Hayden, we didn't see not one crutch or brace. He walking around running, jumping as if he just didn't get his behind beat 2 days ago. Okay. Oh, God. But Fatima, she goes and busts out all of Hayden's windows on his car. I said, where's the police? Nobody called the police. It looks like Hayden lives in a very good neighborhood. Nobody called. I hope somebody called. Take her behind the jail. Let her and Zach play flip-flop. He out, she in. Tag team. Because I'm like, no, I'm sorry. Fatima needs to have some type of consequence. You just don't come up and bash somebody's window off of a hunch or off of a guess. I forgot to mention this in my review I did last week. But it's like, no, Fatima, baby, we don't do that. And not only did you do that, you rolled up in this man's house. I understand. I don't understand this big bad wolf Fatima situation. I'm not feeling it. It's over. How many times are we going to see Fatima, use the fact that she's crazy, or messed up, or you picked the wrong one? It's tiresome. It's tiresome at this point. But I'm just like, you know what? Whatever. So when she goes in the house, she sees that Gary is there with Hayden. And she kind of, stops in her track, like, what the hell are you doing here? Sis, none of your business, because this is not your house. This is not your jurisdiction. I'm going to need you to take your bat crazy ass out this man's house and go back where you need to be. Period. So, what I want to talk about the most is this whole thing with Danny and Karen. It was my favorite scene of the night. Only because I love Danny's part. Karen, I don't know what the hell is going on there. So Danny's at home. She's smoking. Karen pops up unannounced. So she comes in. She sits down and she's talking about Zach. She wants to talk about Zach. She wants to get Zach back. I don't like that bitch. She's talking about, I don't like her. I said, now, time out. Pause. For Tyler, not the character of Karen, for Tyler. I'm trying to understand, why do we have to perpetuate the idea that these two women need to be in constant conflict? Let's just say Karen is pregnant with Zach's child. That is a fact. Let's say that's a fact. Fatima, in this situation, since Fatima has been on this show, Fatima has never done anything to Karen. Period. She's never done anything to her. She's never come out of the way at her. Now, she came at Karen when Karen came at her at the law firm, which I would expect anybody to. The one thing that I do appreciate about Fatima in this situation when it comes to Karen is that she could have been nasty. She could have been an asshole towards her. But what she decided to do was she put herself in Karen's shoes when it comes to, I know what it's like to be with someone who didn't do for me, got with somebody else, and became what I wanted him to be, and married her. That's Fatima's story. So I'm like, y'all just had this moment, like I said, Karen had to get into had this attitude when she thought Fatima was lying to her. But I'm like, that's not what this is. Not all of a sudden you don't like this B, you just don't like her when she's never done anything to Karen. The only thing that she's ever done was be the woman who Zach chooses to choose. That's it. She's the woman who Zach chooses to choose. Ever since Zach told Karen, that I'm going after Fatima with my whole heart, he has never made a pass at Karen. He has never made Karen believe that there is a possibility for them to get back together. Now, I do agree with what Danny said. Of course, he wants to rub this in your face. Yeah, he wants you to know that he happy. He got someone. Of course. However, at the same time, he does love Fatima. And that's who he wants to be with. So watching Karen say those things like, I love him. He told me he loved me. And I'm just like, can we please get a therapist on this show? Can we please normalize on Sistas black women going to therapy? Because every last one of them heifers need to be on somebody's couch. Every last one of them. But with Karen, it's such, it for me, just watching this, because I can speak from a place of where I'm not like I just don't like the character, but it's like to watch what or how she was in the beginning, to see Karen now, it is night and day. It is completely night and day. All over the fact that she can't get over this man. It's so hard for her to get over this man. And the mindset with Zach, how Tyler has written him, from what we know as of now, that it has seemed very easy for him to make this shift in his life emotionally when it comes to him being completely available emotionally to another woman. For whatever reason, like he got so, caught up and feels good about how Fatima is treating him. And I'm not saying there needs to be a timeline on how fast you get over something. And being with somebody for 3 years don't mean shit either. You could be with somebody for 3 years, meet some other person that completely changes your life, and you all in. And it only took maybe 3 months. Who knows? But it's just the fact that I'm like, it is tiresome watching this character. Can we please see a shift? Can we please see a turn in Karen that she could begin to heal and move on and really and have the happiness that we're able to see Zach have? Like, I don't understand why it has to be one or the other, but I am a firm believer that Tyler Perry does not like to see happiness. I am a firm believer in that. He likes people to be on the out. He doesn't like to see happy couples. He doesn't like to see black love. People, I know there are times that I've seen that Fatima and Zach are quote unquote, oh, we need to see this black love. They're not black love goals to me either. Not even in the least bit. But it's ridiculous. I personally enjoyed the things that Danny said to Karen. And I believe it hit when Danny she was like, he's changing. I'm seeing him change. And Danny was like, and you really believe that? Yes, I see it. And she was like, yeah, for her. He's changing for her. He's not, nor did he change for you. With Fatima, he's another person. With you, he's the same old Zach. I thought that was a powerful line that Tyler wrote. I love that because that is a God's honest truth. Even if Karen was to get Zach back or they were to get back together, you're not getting the man that you see. The man that you see has been fit and fashioned for Fatima, not you. So now you want someone else's man, not just physically, but this person that he's becoming, he's not for you. He's just not for you. And I want that. Like, I think that's a beautiful message, because there are times where it doesn't mean that you're a bad person or this person is a bad person. You're just not each other's person. And that's fine too, but you have to learn to move on from that. And I know it's easier said than done, but I'm like, we all have been, well, not all of us, but a lot of us have been in situations where you've had to pick up, you know what I'm saying, pick up yourself, do the necessary work to heal, to be free of toxic relationships, abusive relationships, and move on. Doing the necessary work to build yourself back up again, the pieces of yourself that you left or you allowed someone else to take. And when you get your strength back and you get your will back to be a stronger person, it's like, yes, good, because you did what was necessary to move on. Now, do I think Zach did what was necessary to move on? I absolutely don't. So there are some things that I believe that Zach still possess that are going to be an issue for him and Fatima when they get their, that spinoff. Like, yeah, Zach didn't do no work to get over Karen. He hopped from, excuse my language, he slid out of one coochie and slid in another one. That's exactly what he did. Period. So I think those things are going to come up, certain situations will come up because he hasn't really done anything to heal or free himself from a previous relationship, a relationship that meant a lot to him and that time and emotions were invested in. You still gotta deal with that. Just because you don't want to, act like Karen exists don't mean the heifer don't exist. But I just thought that was a real good scene, and I like seeing Danny in that light, because of course we saw the same thing last season when Karen and Zach had their face to face. It was at Danny's house. When Zach left, she was there to comfort Karen. She was there to be there for her, to let her know, like, sis, he said it. He said it was over. He said it was done. Like, what else do you want him to do at this point? And so it's like we were seeing that same Karen in tonight's episode when Danny was like, Karen, like, he's moved on. The reason why Karen was there, she tells Danny, is that you tell me the truth and you don't consider my feelings. Like, that's what I need. And Danny was giving her exactly what she came for, but she wasn't in a position to receive it. She just wasn't. So now you get, I'm gonna go get him back. Girl, what? I said, you know what? Yeah, take your ass back over there. Let Zach not only hurt your feelings, let him shatter them mugs, and then maybe you'll get it this time. Let him completely destroy you emotionally about how he don't want you, about how he want Fatima, about if the baby is his, he gonna be there. But for you, it's over. He don't want nothing. Let him say whatever it is he needs to say so that she can really get it this time. I'm all for it. I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind, because like at this point, now you're harassing. She doing the same thing Zach did in season 2. Making himself known, popping up unannounced. But the fact is that Zach is in a relationship. There's a big difference. There's a big difference. But that scene was just like I said, I did enjoy it. But I'm trying to, like, Karen, we just need sis to really understand that Zach don't want you. And that you need to move on. And then the fact she literally just said hours before to Fatima, I got this wonderful man who want to do all these things for me, and I'm here pining over this. Like, yeah, like Danny said, her hormones could be all over the place, and that might be true. But I ain't giving Karen, I ain't doing that. And I know I talk to a lot of people via Instagram and Twitter who really, really rock hard for Karen, and it's just like, they be like, well, you got to understand that I understand, but that doesn't mean that I'm going to, when I do my reviews and stuff, that doesn't mean that I'm going to take pity on Karen. I don't take pity on Karen, because there's still someone else who, by the name of Aaron, who's still out there, because it's like, she don't want to let him go all the way. Like, I feel like she want her cake and eat it too when it comes to Aaron. She doesn't want Aaron completely out of her life, but she only wants him to fit into a certain piece in her life. And I don't think that's fair. If leave him, let him go. If this baby turns out not to be his, which my hope, I want the baby to be Aaron's. But it's, I don't know how this gonna pan out. It's just sickening. This went from being one of my probably my favorite show that was out when it came out. It went from being my favorite show to a show that I honestly miss. I can honestly not watch. You know what I'm saying? And it's just sad because I feel like we do have black shows out there. Don't get me wrong, but it's not many shows like this that we have that follow the lives of black women. We have a lot. Don't get me wrong. We have a lot of those shows, but a show like this is very different. And I just feel like, it's what was once leading the race has become the bottom of the totem pole. So you have shows like, what is it called? Run the World. You have shows like the show with Megan Good. I can't think of the name of Harlem. I think it's called Harlem. Like, to me, those are really great shows, and it kind of formulates around like the whole synopsis of like Sistas. You have these black women who are intelligent, who are smart, who are walking different paths of life. And when you look at their shows and you watch an episode of Sistas is laughable. Sistas look like a joke when you look at those in comparison to those other shows. It is a big joke. And it, has to come from the person who created the show and the person who writes the darn episodes. I just think it's horrible what this show has become. I don't want to really, how long I've been talking? I've been talking for 31 minutes. I couldn't even really give like a review like I would normally do, because it's just like, these are real raw. These are real raw right now. And maybe I will do, because we got a long break. So I have a whole bunch of videos that I'm going to do when it comes to Sistas and these different scenarios and things of that nature. But I just wanted to give y'all like the real, I couldn't do no review. This episode was trash. Pure trash, garbage, dumpster juice, trash. That's how I feel about this episode. I'm going to watch it again. I'm going to try and see if I feel any differently. But right now, this is how I feel. This is how I feel. It was just, I'm done. I don't want to be negative no more. But I wasn't trying to be negative, but I'm just want to tell you how I felt for real about it. But yeah, those are my thoughts. These are my, I ain't going to call this a review. These are my initial thoughts of Sistas season 4, episode 10 or 11. I don't remember, and I don't care. That's called Fine Wine. I am so curious to know what y'all thought about this damn episode. So please comment that. I just want to know, how you felt about it, and, things of that nature. But until next time, which it'll be very soon, I will holler at y'all later. One.